Halloween is hands down one of my favorite holidays. I love horror movies and I grew up on all the classics. I'm going to show you where to buy these really cool, unique prints, and I'm going to show you how I mount them on a really cool, unique background made out of pallet wood so you can hang them on the wall. Last year I made a bunch of these. They sold really well for me. I just wanted to share it with you. I'm Andy. Welcome to my channel. This is Epeius Garage, and these are fun to make. I'm going to show you how I make them. I hope you enjoy the video. I find these cool prints on Amazon. I'm going to go ahead and link in the description all the main ones that I use and the ones that I know sell really well for me. What makes these so cool and unique is that all of these are printed on actual dictionary paper. So every single one of these is going to have a different word at the top, and they're all unique. So even if you buy 3 of this print, they're all different. So it makes it unique. For instance, this squad I think is pretty cool. It's got on the top of it for the word, fair deal. I think if you ran into this squad, it's probably not a fair deal. There's a ton of designs to choose from. I did some of Halloween. I did one last year of Friday the 13th. I've done some with all the horror characters, main ones together. They all sold really well, but I'm going to tell you the one that sells the best is Nightmare Before Christmas. I don't know what it is with Nightmare Before Christmas, but there is like a cult following or something with this movie. I enjoy the movie, but for real, when I hang these up on my markets, it's guaranteed they're pretty much going to sell. Somebody is going to see it, and they love that movie. This one, definitely get some of these. There's multiple different ones of these, some really cool ones. Check it out. I'll link it in the description. First off, you got to make the background. You can frame these. Nothing wrong with that. I really like making these out of old pallet wood and using polyurethane to mount them to the frame. I break down the pallets using my reciprocating saw. To me, this is the easiest way, and generally you avoid all the nails. After I break down the boards from the pallet, I run each board on each edge through my table saw, and this joints the edge. This allows for a tight fit up when you put the boards together. Every pallet's a little different. This pallet, though, had thinner boards. Some of these had the heat treat on there. I kind of like that. You know, you kind of leave that, it might get a cool look. Some of these have a cool edge. I don't always take that off. For instance, this one, I'm going to make sure is an outside board because it has an edge. So I think sometimes that looks cool on the outside of the frame, you know. Makes it look kind of rusted. Kind of like this one. See, that looks kind of rustic looking. People like that. People like rustic. But anyways, what I do here, after I've jointed them on the saw, then I just kind of arrange them how I want to put these together. Basically, they're going to be 13 inches long, about 9.5 wide, so the print fits on there nice and even. And I'll glue these up. They're going to get a backer on it anyways, like that. So the glue's not really for a lot of strength, but it kind of holds them together. So I'll do a quick glue up, clamp them together, let them dry. Once I get them the size they want, I'll just cut these down. It's pretty easy. And after getting those boards nice and arranged where you want them, it's time to glue them up. I use Type Bond 2, and I slap them together. I only use one clamp. Clamp it right in the middle. After letting the glue dry, generally 24 hours, probably wait a couple hours, I go ahead and remove all the clamps. Once I remove the clamps, I set up my table saw, and I cut these down to 13 by 9.5. To me, that's the size I like. There's room, obviously, on these, so you can make them smaller if you like to fit more precise. You can do it however you want. Get creative. Now that you have the board to the size that you want it, you want to give it a good sanding. And when I say good sanding, you don't have to go to 200 grit. I go to 80 grit, and that's plenty. You just don't want any fuzzies or anything popping up that's gonna poke through the print or around the edges that might give somebody a splinter. I use pallet wood, so that's always a possibility. You want to make sure they're smooth enough. Sometimes if you want to get really creative, get your 4-inch grinder, put a 60 grit flapper wheel on there, and I go around the edges and I'll give it a little texture, I guess you could say, for aesthetic reasons. Now on some of these prints, I even made them black. Generally what I do is I spray paint a coat of black, let it dry, then I spray paint a light coat of gray, and then I take about, I don't know, 200 grit or so, and I just go around and I sand it. And what that does is it brings the black back out of the top layer, and the area where I put those grooves, my 4-inch grinder, it leaves those gray. So it gives it a textured look. You can do this multiple ways, however you want. That's just me getting creative in my own little way. When you are painting or sanding or anything on these, you don't have to do the whole board because the print's going to take up the middle. So I always just do the edge. Just the way I do it. If there is a method to this, please let me know in the comments. I've been doing this now for over a year and I don't know what it's really called, and I'm sure there's a name. I use water-based polyurethane to paste these on the wood backgrounds. First, I apply a thin coat to the wood, then I lay the print on. The paper will start to shrivel up due to the moisture in the polyurethane, so I generally use a card or I keep using the brush while holding the paper up and slowly letting it down so you don't have any wrinkles or bubbles in the paper. Once I get it on there, I let it totally dry and then I put one more coat over that, and it's kind of like a seal coat. I'm not sure what made me think to do it this way. I have no clue. Tell me if you got any other ways or better products. I'm kind of curious of how epoxy would work if you poured it over it. I don't know. Let me know. Well, it's not going to be much of an artwork piece if you can't hang it up or mount it anywhere. So what I do is on the back of each frame, I take some scrap wood, usually from the pallet I broke down. I cut little pieces of wood. I apply them to the back using my brad nailer and a little bit of glue. It doesn't have to be super secure. Once I get that applied, let it dry for a little bit. Really, you're using brad nailer, you don't even have to worry about letting it dry. I go ahead and I add sawtooth hangers, and I'll link the ones I use. I think they're 1.5 inches. I get them on Amazon, but that's it. You just make sure those are centered and it's ready to hang up. Hey, you don't have to use Halloween prints if you don't want to. I just do this time of the year. There are a ton to choose from on Amazon. Like I said, I'll link the ones that I use in the description that sell best for me in my area, which is North Texas. I hope y'all liked the video, and if you do decide to make some of these, I would love to see them. If you could either send them to me on my Facebook page or my email, both of those are in the description, so you can send them there. I would really, really like to see them. I think that would be cool, especially if you come up with a different background. I think it'd be cool to see the different things that y'all come up with. Hey, y'all take care. I'll see you next time.